My colleague Tumisho Grater attended the update regarding Abil, and it's on the recovery proceedings and how they are developing. She spoke to the company's curator, Tom Winterboer, to get an update. Let's take a look at that conversation.
The main issue about a new bank being formed is the bank's amendment bill. There are two changes required to that. So the first change would be to allow the Reserve Bank, and they're putting money into the structure so that they can first collect their money and stand first in line, so they would be called a super senior creditor, and it's just to enable them to do that. And it's one of those things, if someone said to you, do you want to put money into something under curatorship? Well, if you're not the first one to get money back, you probably wouldn't. So that's the one. The second part of that bank's amendment bill would be for a curator to be able to sell assets into the into the good bank. The Act as it stands at the moment allows a curator to do that, but only if there's a profitable unit left. But at the moment, the consortium, and because of examples overseas, were not keen to go into the existing bank. They insisted on having a new good bank. So that is the big thing. So at the moment, we believe those things will go through Parliament, hopefully by the end of April, but no later than the end of June.
You mentioned all the new innovations or the new strategies that you're going to put in place in order to boost the volumes. In terms of collections, is there anything in place there in order to make sure, you said it's not an area of concern, but in order to make sure that collections are going better? Yeah,
we've actually had a specific review done by an expert on collections who's come back with a report. We're looking at various areas to, just to speed up our collections and being more efficient. And we've now also engaged him for the next 6 weeks to 2 months to help us implement that. So clearly, the collections got to be higher, and we're really working on that, and in particular in that bad book.
Early on, you spoke about things that need to be finalized to move forward. There is no clear, or rather nothing solid in terms of whether or not we're going to see retrenchments. It could be redeployments that we're seeing there as well.
The issue around the redeployment or retrenchments, at the moment we're talking and engaging 50 people. Hopefully we're able to redeploy them elsewhere in the business. If we cannot do that, then it may be a retrenchment. But those things are always very emotional, and that's sort of a last step open for us. So we certainly wouldn't want to go there. But having said that, we need to look at the cost in the business, and most of those people are based at head office. But going forward, we need more people and in the sales area. And we need to make sure our collections are, well structured and well organized. And in terms of further retrenchments, one would hopefully not have to go that route, and the efficiencies could be achieved via just natural attrition.
Your creditors and your bondholders are currently not being paid, but there are open discussions happening there.
Yeah, at the moment, so just in high-level numbers, there's about 40 billion of senior creditors. Those are the creditors that anticipated in the 10 August transaction to get 90 cents in the rand. But in terms of bonds, an offer from New Bank to move the bonds across, and then 10% would remain in the remainder of the bank together with a bad book. And then in addition to that, there are the subordinated creditors. There's about 4.4 billion, and we're certainly looking at how to best deal with that.
For the good bank, you have elected a new chairman. You said in terms of the CEOs, there are still discussions going on there. There are candidates. Tell us, I know you can't go into too much detail about the candidate process, but one thinks about what a huge task this is. Was there a huge candidate pool to choose from in terms of CEOs here, and when can we expect to have one elected?
Yeah, in terms of the CEO, it's almost a search for the right person for this particular business. So one needs a person with experience and someone that's prepared to take up the challenge. At the moment, in terms of discussions, we're hoping to come to a point by the end of this month where we have someone in place, and we'll certainly update the market once we're at that stage.
You are looking to still keep the name African Bank because you still think it still has good brand value. Can you maybe elaborate on that point? A lot of people think of African Bank Limited and they think of the collapse.
Yeah, I think there are really two main categories, and there possibly more, but the two main categories we see would be the customers of African Bank on the one side, on the other side the market as in general, creditors and shareholders. So we believe in terms of the corporate market, shareholders and so on. So surely Abil and the African Bank relationship, that's not been good for the bank and it's taken a lot of damage. So in terms of a holding company, one would probably look at another name, but for the actual trading unit, and we haven't finalized on that, we will obviously do some more work. African Bank has done a lot of good for a lot of people that haven't had access to finance before, and a very good customer base, and generally a very happy customer base. So we believe that name may well be appropriate going forward.